Let's talk about all the training camps in Russia. Training camps are not just a coach with a skater. It's building about technical philosophy, a daily structure, and it has some political positioning in it. So choosing a training camp is very important in Russia, and it often determines how talent evolves. And if a skater chooses the correct camp for them, then that can lead to a lot of bonuses in their career. If they do not, the same talented skater might not be able to be even exposed and to be able to fully bring their potential. So let's talk about the different camps in Russia. The first major camp that everybody probably knows when starting out in Russian figure skating is Team Tutberidze Samba 70. Now, Team Tutberidze is mainly dominates in female figure skating. Their philosophy and style is all about maximum technical difficulty, early breaks, development, strict discipline, hierarchy, and results for first environment. So they are very much in a very structured, organized way. There's no mistakes to be made, a lot of jumps, a lot of technical emphasis, and usually they build it on younger talents and younger bodies because the system of trainings is very, very brutal and only certain skaters can handle this. So how are skaters trained? They are trained in quad, ultra C elements early on. So by the age of 10, they already nailed all the triple jumps and are learning quad jumps. And they are usually for junior dominance. So usually they do teach their skaters from a very young age. They win all the junior competitions specifically for the women's field. And then they progress into the Olympic cycles, being champions. But this is a one-off. By the age of 18, it's very hard to sustain a female skater using Adeli's methods. So usually Adeli has her replaceables, and every Olympic cycle, the team just replaces one after another. So there's always newer skaters that are ready and that are young and can have this. So their careers are very short, but they're very intense. They achieve everything in a young age and then they go off. So in the training camp, a lot of multiple elite skaters train simultaneously. And this is just to build a lot of competition, because Adeli believes that internal competition is the biggest advantage for a competitive skater, because they know that another skater is training harder than them, and it makes the skater work even more and know that they can be replaced easily if they are not working hard enough. The camp survival really depends on results. If skaters are not producing good results, they are going to be replaced, they are going to be kicked out, because if Adeli knows that you are not fitting into the system, you're not managing the rules, you are not following them, you do not simply care, you're having a lazy day, you don't want to, you're not working hard enough, in her eyes, she does not mind to replace you, she does not care at all. If you're not meeting her expectation, you are out of the team. That's her philosophy. And that's why loads of people, skaters, usually struggle when they leave, because Adeli has the specific technique style that loads of people criticize, but it does work on junior skaters. But her technique is very specific. And so when skaters leave, they really struggle to adapt to a new specific, different system. And they don't do so well in competitions. This has been seen in Evgenia Medvedeva, who left to Canada and couldn't win anything, even though she was winning first place with Adeli Tutberidze. When she was in Canada, she was barely even scraping top 3. We saw that in Alexandra Trusova when she thought her stable jumps weren't really that good and she wanted to switch to Angels of Plushenko to be able to really redefine her jumps and to get better technique. Didn't work. She was still getting third places. Alyona Kostanaya was winning and then went to Angels of Plushenko and was getting second and third, which again just proves that Adeli is very specific in her technique, and skaters find it really hard to adapt to a different style of coaching. Another major camp is Angels of Plushenko, which in fact is probably the rival of Adeli Tutberidze, because they are quite diverse. They're not just focused on the women's field or dominated. They also have the males, they have pairs. But a lot of it is that the Angels of Plushenko are quite lenient and laid back. They don't have this strict schedule that they follow. They do a lot of ice show work. They do a lot of other things with their skaters. They're very much, parents are involved in it, very much a family orientated place. If a skater has a lot of talent, they don't mind funding for the talent. They do hire a lot of junior talent, but also have older, more retired, more senior athletes coming back to just train, to work, and very much all of it is to do with the Angel of Plushenko shows. They offer a lot of contract deals, a lot of entertainment, a lot of work to be done outside of just the competitor side, a lot of commercial work. A lot of skaters really appreciate that and know that Plushenko gives opportunities, and where opportunities meet, a lot of skaters love. And so he very much is a competitor of a Tutberidze, but is very opposite to her training methods. So compared to Tutberidze, he's more well-rounded, he's less rigid and less structured. Success usually really heavily depends on the individual athlete, whether they really want this or not. The coaching changes a lot as well. They do have a lot of coaches changes and a lot of coaches, different groups working with. Sometimes Plushenko works, sometimes other coaches work. And it just really depends on the individual performance if they really want it. Whereas with a Delhi, it's more like you follow the system, you will achieve those results. It's about the system. Whereas Yevgeny's is more about the athlete, not about the system. Another major one is Alexei Mishin. Alexei Mishin is more about longevity, about gradual progression. He mainly focuses on male domination. He did have a female skater, Tutberidze. She was one of the best, but again, she was the only female skater that was training with males. And he doesn't put a lot of pressure on Ultra C elements or difficulty. He is mainly about sustainable. And Alexei Mishin is a very much well-known person in the figure skating industry because he's known for his peak, he's known for his career, and loads of people respect him, and that's how his academy is treated. It's based in St. Petersburg. He's very historical, but he is very much less dominant in the women's skating. He does have a couple pairs that are really good as well, but again, he prioritizes on longevity, which some skaters prefer. They want to skate for a very long time, and that coaching style really approaches them and their approach, and they like him. And Mishin really just trains for careers and not just for short peaks. So he has a lot of his skaters stay for a very long time with him, and he is a physician and an engineer. So a lot of his training is actually science-based, and he has a lot of machinery which helps the skater to prevent injuries, to skate better, to rotate better. All of these that just really helps the athlete to prevent injuries, to prioritize health, but also to still produce really good results. Another camp is the CSKA Moscow, which is a Bunova style group. It's a balance between technique, presentation, and structure, but it's definitely less extreme than Team Tutberidze. They prioritize consistency. Again, longevity is one. They're very much into pair skating and have a lot of wins with that. But they also dominate in the female and the males, so they are very much well-rounded. But they are definitely a quieter camp than all the rest of them because they don't really chase publicity and make very few headlines. They mainly just work on producing the skaters and avoid any sort of drama or any conflict at all. So they definitely have less media attention on them and definitely less federational spotlight compared to all the other skaters. So it does bring the downside of fewer opportunities and very less promotion on the skaters that do train with them because there isn't very much a well-known skater that participates in like show works and people know them so much. It's very much just built on just competitions and that's it. They don't want anything to do with anything else, the commercial side, just focused on competitive skating. So the importance of choosing the correct camp for the individual skater is very important, because camps control competitions, they do the development, injuries, federational relationships. That's very important, because two equal talented skaters could have completely different careers based solely on just choosing the camp. For example, if you're a junior female skater and really want to dominate in competitions, Tutberidze is your best bet for producing very good results. And if you want to skate very short term but still be able to achieve all your dreams, Tutberidze is one for you. If you want to focus more on the commercial side, about earning money while still skating and having more opportunities, then Plushenko is definitely for you. If you want longevity, if you're a male and want really much domination, then Mishin is a really good group for you. And for pairs, maybe CSKA is one for you, but also it's well-rounded. And if you want longevity in any of the fields, you just want to focus on skating, less promotion, less injury prevention, then that one is for you as well. So it's really dependent on what the skater really wants and what the camps can offer. Federational relationships are very important, because federations give out a lot of grants, a lot of salaries based on the skaters and seeing what their results are. So they have to have a really good relationship with the federation. And that really just explains why some skaters vanish suddenly, why others are protected, and why camp switches are so destabilizing, because when you are used to one technique, it's very hard for you to switch coaches, because they're going to give you another technique that you're probably not used to. But of course, you can't just avoid switching camps. A lot of skaters do, and it's really important why they do. And some of the common reasons is because of injuries. A lot of skaters have a lot of injuries, and maybe the method of training just doesn't work for them and they need something better, so they choose a different camp to prevent all of this. Stagnation is just the same thing over and over time. People just want to move on, to progress, to better themselves with something new, and so that's a quite good thing. Some no longer is fitting the priorities of the camp. Alona Kostanaya was one of them. Tutberidze wanted all her skaters to jump quads, and Alona Kostanaya simply wasn't meeting the expectations. She was still doing triple jumps. She just couldn't, because she was scared, and she broke a lot of her arms, and a lot of injuries were happening because of that. She just couldn't do it. She couldn't fulfill what Tutberidze's expectation was. And Tutberidze kicked her out and said, I don't want to work with broken skaters. So Alona Kostanaya left. Some skaters, of course, have personal conflicts with the coaches. For example, Elena Kostovle is one of the stars in Angels of Plushenko, but her mum causes so much drama. There's so much tension between Plushenko and her mum that it really fulfills and goes wrong with Elena Kostovle. And she actually had to leave several different coaches because of the conflict that her mum was causing. And that did not help, because Elena really loved Angels of Plushenko and it really fit her. She found her coach. But because her mum was causing so much drama within the camp, they simply couldn't handle her anymore. And so they had to leave. But of course, then they came back and everything is now somewhat resolved. The mum is keeping her mouth shut for now, but we'll see what will happen next. But this is why switching camps rarely actually works. And a lot of skaters end up coming back to their original camp after it not seeming to work out, because technique, again, is really not easy to transfer. The bodies are so conditioned for a specific style of training that it's hard for them to adapt. New camps don't rebuild from zero, they kind of build from mid-career, which is just simply impossible. So much has happened. Alexandra Trusova went back to Angels of Plushenko, trained for a bit, and then went back to Tutberidze because it just simply wasn't working out. She was going nowhere with her technique again. She simply wanted to stabilize her jumps and it wasn't happening. So camps are designed to primarily focus on the competitive results, for medals and for Olympic cycles. They're not for the post-Olympic careers. They're not there to always sustain a figure skater. They're there for their camp to be the absolute best and for skaters to represent them and to win those medals. And so camps decrease the older skaters and younger skaters replace them. That's naturally how camps are built. They're not going to always sustain a skater forever. Specifically, ice shows do that. Once a camp is finished and the skater is finished with the camp, finished with representing it, has built a reputation, has gained medals, they transition into ice show work, which is for post-Olympics, post-competitive skating, and to sustain a figure skater, to earn income and to skate. And so ice shows is one, there's media projects and coaching, which are the three main ones that skaters move on after finishing their careers. So that's kind of why retirement is always informal. It's never really talked about. Nobody really says, oh, I'm retiring from the sport, because you're still in figure skating, but you're doing other things other than competitive skating in general. And they exit quietly without telling anybody, even though their careers feel like unfinished in a way, because they never really say, that's it, I'm retiring from competitive sport, leave me alone. Like, it's never like that, because when you do say that, lots of skaters then feel like they're kind of buried in their skating careers and they have to choose another life and people just forget about them. They don't want to be forgotten. They want to still do something in figure skating, but just not competitively. The camps are built with the unofficial hierarchy. So definitely there is a top camp versus not a so much spoken camp. Everybody wants to go to Tutberidze or Plushenko's academy because they're the top ones, and that's why every potential talented skater really wants to go there, because they want to fulfill their Olympic dream. But not all camps have equal influences, and so the federational attention very much is mattered, because federations only focus on top camps in general. International assignments are limited, and so they're given to the ones that can produce the best results and represent Russia in a better way. Camps usually compete for who will get those international assignments, because they are very limited, and which skaters will represent, because camps then get a very much, if you think about it, global attention and some branding to theirs, because their skating is not only representing Russia, but also they get to represent their camp. And so camps compete for funding, for visibility, and for political support. Those are the main factors where camps are so competitive and how they really dominate in Russia and the Russian system within figure skating. What do you guys think about this? Which camp do you think is the most influential, and why? Do you think now that it's very much central, it depends on the skater, who they pick, do you think because of the international ban, skaters and camps have really uplifted and are more equal? What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts down below.